Hello my dear students, this is chapter 8, lesson 2, what is a mixture? So a mixture is something made up of two or more different kinds of matter. It's something made up of two or more different kinds of matter. It's like when you mix two things together, three things, 4, 10 things together, you're making a mixture. Making a mixture is a physical change. Why? Because when you make a mixture, the parts of the mixture do not become new things. The parts of the mixture do not become new things. Also, you can separate it into its parts. You can separate the mixture into its parts again. Like the fruit salad. The fruit salad is a mixture of fruits. After mixing them, the fruits will not change and become new things. And also you can separate the mixture. Also vegetable salad, same thing. After mixing, they will not change into new things. Also you can separate this mixture. You have the nuts mixture, also chocolate mixture. All these mixtures, you can separate them and the parts of them do not become new things. Another type of mixtures is water mixtures, like salt with water. When you put salt in water, it dissolves. The salt dissolves in water. Dissolve means to mix completely with a liquid. So it means to mix completely with a liquid. Dissolve means to mix completely with a liquid. And like they become like one thing. Salt and water, they become like one thing. But the salt didn't change. It has dissolved in the water, and the water also is a water. They didn't change actually. The taste of the water is going to be salty, not sweet. That means the salt did not change and become new thing. Now, how can we separate salt from water? The first way is by just leaving the mixture in a warm place. By leaving the mixture in a warm place, the water will evaporate and the salt remains or stays in the cup or the container that you're using. Another way is by heating the water, as what we will see now, and by heating the water also will evaporate and the salt stays in the pot or any container that you're using. Let's watch that. So here mixing salt with water. When we mix salt with water again, the salt dissolves in water. It mixes completely with the water. After that, we want to separate them. We want to separate the mixture. We can separate this mixture by heating the water. Heating the water will make it evaporate. Yes, you'll see that the water has started evaporating and you can see that a white material has appeared here. This white thing is the salt and the water is evaporating. Now most of the water has evaporated. So when the water evaporates, it leaves the salt. So the white material now is the salt. This is the salt. This is the salt. So this is the salt. Now let's see another water mixture. which is sand and water. When we mix sand with water, now this time sand does not dissolve in water. Sand does not dissolve in water. Also, this is a physical change because mixing the sand with water will not change any of them. The sand will remain as sand and water will remain as water. Now, also, we need to separate this mixture. As I said, sand does not dissolve in water. So how can we separate sand from water? We can separate it by using filter paper. Filter paper. This paper is called filter paper. Now let's see how can we use filter paper to separate sand from water. You can see the sand here in the cup. This is the water and sand mixture. This is the filter paper that we use to separate sand from water, and you will see how. Then pouring the mixture into the filter paper. What will happen is that the water will pass through the filter paper and the sand will not. So the sand will remain or stays on the filter paper because it cannot pass through it, while the water passes through it easily. So this is how we separate the mixture. See? The sand is on the filter paper while the water has passed through it. So this is how we separate sand from water. Here is the sand and the water is in the container. Let's see another video about that. So this is the mixture of sand and water, and here's the filter paper that we use to separate the mixture. Again, we should pour the mixture into the filter paper, and you can see that the water is passing through the filter paper to the cup, while the sand cannot pass through. It doesn't pass through. It stays on the filter paper. Only water can pass through the filter paper. That's why we use a filter paper to separate sand from water. Now you'll see how the sand is on the filter paper. See, so the water now is in the cup without the sand, and the sand is on the filter paper. So we mixed solids together, we mixed solids and liquids together. What about mixing liquids together? Like, for example, mixing chocolate syrup with milk. When you mix chocolate syrup with milk, they mix completely with each other and they become like one thing, chocolate milk. It is also a physical change because the chocolate hasn't changed into a new thing. It did not become, for example, coffee. And also the milk is milk also after mixing. So they did not become new things. So it's a physical change. Another mixture we can make is mixing oil with water, but do they mix completely like the chocolate syrup and milk? Let's see. This is the water. And this is the oil. Let's see. Do they mix completely? Do they become like one thing? What do you think? This is the water and this is the oil. Do they mix completely together? No, they don't. You can see that they do not mix completely with each other. They do not mix together. You cannot mix the water with the oil. They remain separated. They remain separated. So water and oil remain separate when they are added together, like here. So you cannot mix them together completely. They will remain separated. So this is the end of our lesson. If you have any questions, please ask me and study well.